Hi guys, Dan Cooper here from Pro Tools Expert, and today I've gone completely drum sequencer mad with Drum Direktor FNK2 by Loop Loft. Now if you don't already know who Loop Loft are and what they do, then you really need to go check them out, as these guys specialise in producing some of the best sounding drum loops on the market. Now Drum Direktor is a Kontakt VI developed by Loop Loft, which offers to help users really exploit their drum samples and loops in a creative and expressive way. I don't personally use drum loops or built-in step sequences much in my workflow, so I thought I'd give this a try to see if this approach would be something I could start to get into. And I must say, for a workflow that's a little bit alien to me, this really is an easy VI to get going with. So what I'm going to do is step sequence a drum pattern with a handful of included loops, and whilst I'm putting this together, I'll show you the features that I'm really digging in Drum Direktor. But first, let me mention the samples. There's a wealth of loops included in this, so many that I can't even begin to play through them in this review. So you just have to take my word for it, there's plenty to get going with. So let's put a loop together, starting on the drum page. We've got 16 pads. 16 pads here can load 16 samples. These samples are shown at the top here, and we have some features on the right here for kind of where we want to start each sample from. So let me just demo that here with pads number 1. Very simple, but what we can do is we can slide the beginning of that back a little bit. So let's say maybe at the snare with this slide feature. So let's put that back on the kick, and I'll demo the other 3 patches that I've got loaded in here, which I've already moved around to start at different parts. So here's the orange one. So that's just a snare. So if I turn the hold up a little bit more, we'll get a bit more of that loop. So let's bring that back. The next one along, the yellow one here, just a little double snare hit. And the green one next, hi-hat shuffle, all very simple. So they've all got their own start points, and that's all sort of determined by the slide, the attack, hold, and decay. And whether or not it loops, it goes round, that's set here. So let's move across to the sequencer page where we can start to mash these things together. Now remember these color code bits here, because that's actually going to help us across on the sequencer, so it all matches. So this page should be fairly familiar to like a synthesizer user. We've got the 4 different pads that I've loaded in on the drum page, all color coded as I just mentioned. So what I'm going to do is just start a patch and then start to push elements of those other pads in so you can kind of see and hear what's going on. So it's just the main groove going round. Let's put some hats in. And a little snare shuffle. And the main snare. Okay, so you get the idea. At the bottom here with these red notes, we can program up to 8 different patterns that we can key switch between, which is quite nice. And over on the mixer page, again, remembering our color coding here, because that's going to help us with mixing these parts together. So what I'm going to do is start to play around with the mixer and kind of show you the bits I like about it. So let's start with the hi-hat. We've got pan, volume, all very basic stuff. But what's nice is that we can actually add a little bit of reverb, delay, a little bit of EQ if we choose. We've got some transient shaping here and sustain. The main drum, main rhythm, groove. Let's fiddle with that a little bit. Reverb. Move these around a little bit. Bit of compression. And at the bottom right, which is really quite nice, we also have sort of a master EQ, master compression, and master sort of transient. So that's a very powerful mixer in its own right. It's got everything you need, no fuss and no bloat, which is quite nice. It's all there, all very well laid out. Now, if you want to adjust the samples a little bit further, we can do that back over on the drum page. So let's pick the main groove again. Let's just play that round on loop. And we have cut-offs, low and high, which is quite nice. We got bit crush, bit of drive, pitch, width, just loads of things to sort of mash up the samples before they hit the mixer. Now, a nice user feature that I'm always pleased to see in a Kontakt VI is the ability to output each fader track, or sample if you will, to its own aux track or instrument track in Pro Tools, because a lot of the time I like to use my third-party plugins with what I'm doing in Kontakt. I don't like to work exclusively in the Kontakt mixer. So it's fantastic. Well done for putting that in. That makes me happy. So with that fly-through sort of demonstration, what are my final thoughts on Drum Direktor by Loop Loft? As I said at the start of the review, this kind of workflow wasn't really on my radar, but I have to say that after using this for a few days, I'm really quite taken with it. Just this morning, I found myself playing with it, just like an instrument, for about an hour. It's loads of fun. I'm sure in the right hands, this thing can mash up some really cool and interesting drum loops. In the hands of a novice like me, this VI really is easy to use. You know, it's easy as any synthesizer. Right, I hope you guys got something from this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm Dan, and as always, thanks for watching.